Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am doing What If Naruto Was an Uchiha Part 2. I'm sorry for not uploading recently. I had tests for school that I need to study for. Because they're pretty important, so yeah. I'd like to thank you guys for like 60 subscribers. Yeah, I think it was 60. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, I just really can't thank you guys enough for that many subscribers. So yeah, let's get into the what if. So I'm gonna do the recap actually first. In the last part, Naruto's I did the prologue and Land of Waves arc where Naruto and Sasuke defeated Haku, and Haku still sacrificed himself for Zabuza. And then, Zabuza killed Gato. And after Gato was killed, Naruto and Sasuke both, Naruto and Sasuke both unlocked the Mangekyo, which have Tsukiyomi for Naruto, and for Sasuke, Amaterasu. So yeah, now we're going to return for the Chunin exams arc. Oh, and also, one thing I forgot to mention was someone pointed out to me that I'm going to do for this what if, that since Naruto has a soul, the soul would have to leave, so I'm going to have the Nine-Tails leave Naruto around this point. Just when he's 12 because of plot reasons. And also I want to set something up later in the story. Like later down in the what if. So Naruto doesn't have the Nine-Tails anymore. Mema, Mito have all of it now. Since, yeah. Just because both of them need it. But Mema's gonna have 75 Mitos. No, 50-50 split. They have a 50-50. Yeah. Oh man. Naruto and so we're gonna head back to Leaf Village. Back at the Leaf Village, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura will enroll in the Chunin exams. Since Naruto and Sasuke are already Chunin level fighters, Mito accepts them, as well as putting Mema Mito in with the normal people that were in it during the original. Now, I think a few things change here, like during the Chunin exams. I feel like Gaara, when he feels like the presence of Naruto, since Naruto is like Rock Lee without weights level, he may even be like First Gate Lee level. No, actually, Naruto's gonna be First Gate Lee level without weights. That's gonna be Naruto's strength, and Sasuke's gonna be there. So Gaara is he gets a slight shiver when Naruto gets serious with him. Since Naruto could easily put him under a genjutsu, but Gaara doesn't know that. He thinks Naruto's just strong physically and wants to kill Naruto to prove his existence. So yeah, Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura will head to the thing. Rock Lee's still gonna challenge Sasuke, but Sasuke's actually gonna deny this time, since Sasuke is smarter, and it was kind of stupid to fight Rock Lee, showing off all his abilities and stuff. He said he would fight him some point later, not that he felt like inferior at all, just because he wanted to save his stamina just in case there's a second stage of the Chunin exams directly after. Which Rock Lee would say he understood. And they would set up a fight during, like, some point later. Yeah, like a later date. So, yeah. Mike Guy would, So they would never meet Might Guy. But they would still give Might Guy Naruto would still give Rock Lee the name Bushy Brow, which would kind of annoy Rock Lee. But Bushy Brow is an elite nickname. But yeah. Naruto and Sasuke are gonna break. The Genjutsu's not even gonna catch them. Basically, they'll just break it immediately. Like, the second it comes on, they'll break it. You won't even see, like, it won't even affect them at all. Sakura will break out at, like, a second later. And yeah. They're gonna head in into the exam room. They're gonna head into the exam room. The exam room, since I don't want them meeting up with Kabuto, since I don't think that would happen. Since Naruto or Sasuke would really trust the guy. So they would sit in, like, that lunchroom and stuff like that. Which I forgot about. I haven't watched the Chunin exams arc in a long time. I probably should. It's been like a year. Oh well. But yeah, Naruto and Sasuke would both finish the test relatively quickly. The way Naruto's gonna do it is, he's gonna create... This is gonna be like the start of Naruto being a genius with seals. Since he is an Uzumaki, he would have began to learn sealing jutsus, I believe. Since he knows his Uzumaki heritage, he knows that learning a sealing jutsu could be extremely helpful. So for most of the quiz, it's him trying to figure out a jutsu, a sealing jutsu, where he'll make like a worm type thing, and he'll slide over to someone's paper who he think knows all the answers, and then we'll copy all their answers and slide on back, and then give him all the answers filling out his page. Which Naruto ends up developing and completing the test easily. And even though this took him a long time to create, even though, like, the sealing jutsu to create, he is fairly proud with the jutsu. So yeah. How Sasuke was. Sasuke will end up activating his Sharingan and, like, putting his hair over his eyes and then looking at people's movement, and by their movement, he'll guess the letter that they're writing. No, actually, I'm just gonna say that the Sharingan can see the words, actually. So yeah, that's gonna be how he does it. He can, like, see the words. And, yeah. Basically just, sees the words and copies it. So Naruto and Sasuke both begin. Anko's gonna come in and say they have to meet the Force of Death, stuff like that. Everyone signs the waiver, and Naruto knows that they can kill in this, and he doesn't really look fazed at all. Since he has killed someone before, I'll just say during a C-rank mission they had before. Some bandits attacked him and they killed them all. So he doesn't really get too stressed at the idea of it. But Sakura is losing her mind, realizing that she could be killed, but then calms herself, realizing that Sasuke's on her team and he'll protect her. It's just Sakura things. But yeah, they're gonna enter the Force of Death. Naruto and Sasuke. One thing I forgot is Naruto and Sasuke would get the dog summoning, and Paku would help them sniff out team. They'd deal with the team, and then they'd I'm gonna say Orochimaru tries to attack, but Naruto's not gonna have to go pee this time, since he's just gonna hold it up hold it, since he knows they can body flicker to the thing, since they know the general direction of it. So yeah, they end up, so at one point, some more Orochimaru is going to try to attack as they walk back, just to conserve chakra. I don't know why, because Sakura doesn't want a body flicker. She's kind of scared of it. But yeah, Orochimaru attacks. Naruto and Sasuke know they have to do it, so Naruto is going to touch Sakura on the back. And Sakura gets all freaked out because she's like, oh, why is this guy touching me? Sasuke should be. And then they teleport, all three of them teleport back to the base type thingy, whatever it's called. And they land just outside of it and sprint in. And everyone's shocked to see them here, because it's only been, like, I'm going to say 4 hours. Because how fast did Gaara actually take? The Gaara's team today, it's going to be really quick, like, a few hours into it. Maybe 2 hours? No, actually, I'm going to do an hour. That'll show how, like, strong they are. So yeah, they would make it in an hour. And the way they do this is they found a team really quickly. Then they only walked for like 5 minutes, then Orochimaru would attack. Then they would body flicker over, which would add up to an hour, since they dealt with the team pretty quickly. Finding the team took the longest. Yeah. They would tell them about like the snake-like guy that extended his neck and tried biting them on the neck. And Anko would immediately say that it's Orochimaru. So Minto would go out looking for Orochimaru, hunting for him. And, Naruto and Sasuke would begin to, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would all go to their rooms and relax. And when Gaara would arrive a bit later, Naruto and Sasuke would be sitting on, like, a table where you can enter at, just, like, snacking on some chips or something and talking about it. And Gaara, seeing this, would be infuriated since he feels slow right now. And he turns to Temari and Kankuro, and both of them have a shiver down their spine, like they're sweating buckets at this point. Because they know that Gaara's pissed. He's about to blame them and unleash his wrath on them. And then Naruto and Sasuke both say, hey, it looks like someone else made it. And then they said they were he broke the old record, but not theirs. Since they kind of want to make crack a joke or two. And Gaara turns over to him and begins to state that it was only because he has 2 useless people on their team. And Naruto began to state that they had won, so it kind of, it was reasonable that he had to carry most of the work. And Sasuke starts laughing, and Kankuro begins to say to Gaara that he's not useless, and maybe if Gaara had a brain, he would, know that. And this is when Naruto and Sasuke both, like, the room goes dead silent. Gaara, like, slowly turns over to Kankuro, and Temari's shaking, sweating buckets. But then the tension is all broken up when their sensei, like, comes in the room and tells Gaara to calm down. And Gaara tells Kankuro that if he says that again, he's gonna regret it. And Kankuro is really scared, out of his mind. So yeah, the Chunin exams will go around. Mito won't be able to find Orochimaru. Mito is really mad that Mito didn't finish on the first day. So yeah. I'm also gonna say the Mito's teammate actually arrives unconscious and severely injured, so they can't find the preliminaries, so they end up having to drop out. But yeah, the preliminaries come around. Naruto and Sasuke are hoping they get one of either Mema or Mito. Sasuke is kind of hoping that Naruto gets it, since he knows for Naruto it's much more personal to equip them. But yeah, they're not going to get any of them. Naruto's going to get Kiba. Sasuke's going to get the chakra absorbing guy. Kabuto's actually not going to be able to drop out this time. And I'm actually going to say that Sasuke has to go up against Kabuto. Whatever his name is. But yeah. Naruto feels something fishy about this guy and tells Sasuke to watch out and that he may be that snake guy's subordinate. Sasuke nods his head. So yeah, that's going to be the first matchup. Sasuke is able to beat Kabuto, since I see no reason why he can't, since Kabuto is also going to have to hold back a bit, but they realize that Sasuke is stronger than him, even if he's holding back. Since Kabuto kind of did get Rasengan to the chest by that was Naruto before the Valley of the End. And I feel like after the Valley of the End, Naruto was so much stronger after that. He had experience. After that, in that battle, Naruto was a tuning level fighter. For sure. And him being stuck as a Genin was absolute bullshit. Naruto was he was like a tuning or Genin when he saved the world. He wasn't even a Jonin. So yeah, it was pretty dumb. But yeah. Well, so Naruto, next up is gonna be Naruto's fight. Naruto absolutely slaps Kiba. He's just gonna blitz behind Kiba and then chop him on the back of the neck, then body flicker back up to the stance like the alpha male he is. Kiba, he'll be back up in the stance by the time Kiba hits the floor. So yeah, just a bit after, so that way he isn't disqualified. Mito is pretty surprised at Naruto's speed. It's nothing crazy compared to him, but it's still crazy for a Genin. And next I'm going to do Gaara versus Lee. Well, actually I'm going to do Sakura versus Ino. That's a draw. Shikamaru's fight's a draw. So all the fights go the same until Gaara's versus Lee. Well, actually, that one still goes the same with my guy stepping in. But, yeah. Then I'm going to have Mema and Mito's fight. So all the other fights go the same. But Mema and Mito's fights are going to come up. And Mema is going to be fighting the chakra-absorbing guy. And Mito is going to be fighting some random chick. I don't know. Mema is going to start off the match by charging at the guy with the Rasengan. Even though the guy told him that he absorbs chakra. Which will be like a stupid move. And everyone in the Naruto is going to be confused the most. Everyone else will think that Mema is just testing out his abilities, seeing if he can actually absorb it or if he's bluffing. But Naruto would take this advice, since it does look like he can absorb chakra. This dude just absorbs the Rasengan out of thin air and then kicks Mema away. Mema gets up and fires off a fire-style fireball jutsu, which the guy absorbs. Mema says, "Okay, now I've confirmed that you can absorb my chakra." And Mema then said, "Try absorbing this." He releases his Uzumaki chains. So you're going to form like a tight barrier around the guy, then they're going to close in trying to catch him. They're actually going to catch him. And the guy's going to start trying to move around. But he can't. And Mema's going to start squeezing and say, "Do you surrender?" And out of nowhere, Naruto says, "Just kill him." Seeing if Mema has the balls to do it. Mema said he wouldn't. Why would he kill someone? Naruto says it's the tuning exams. Mema looks back at Naruto and wants to say something, but he knows he can't, since it will make him look bad. So he just says, "Nah, I'm good." And the guy says he surrenders after that real quickly. Since Naruto, he knows that it'd be logical to kill him. Like, if he was in the situation that Memo was in, he would have killed him by now, since you want to assert dominance among the other Chunin. Among the other participants, that way they're scared of you, you have mind control and stuff like that. And, yeah, that's gonna... Oh, Mito versus the chick. Mito's gonna absolutely destroy the chick. Just because. Was it just me? Or was Sakura useless for the entire OG Naruto? Like, what did she actually do? Why did she stay behind during the Sasuke retrieval arc? She stayed behind during that. She didn't do anything during the Land of Waves. Church Tsunade, she wasn't in. Chunin exams, didn't do a damn thing, except made the situation worse. So yeah, all the major arcs, she did nothing. Just stupid, because then in Shippuden, she magically got a power-up, and everyone tried to, and then she was trying to become OP, in a way. She was kind of OP, but not really. She just had a strong punch, and once Naruto got KCM, it was over for her. She was weak. Well, she was weak compared to Naruto and Sasuke. But yeah. Naruto, I'm gonna begin to. Yeah, so Mito wins her fight, so yeah. Now would be the 1 month training period. So yeah, during this 1 month training period, Naruto and Sasuke would get the Chidori, and they would also begin working on with Kakashi the Chidori stream. Well, actually no, I'm gonna have the rest of the month after they learn the Chidori. Naruto can use it more times than Kakashi since he's a beast with chakra. And after this 1 month of training, he is around Rock Lee's fight. Third Gate Lee without weights. That's his strength. That's someone I can compare him to. So, like, Sasuke is a bit less. He could take 3, but he couldn't win against it. Naruto could win against 3. So, yeah. The matches for the next round will be announced. And, the matches are going to be... All the other matches are going to be the same, except for Menma, Mito, Sasuke, and... Well, actually, I need to change something. Mito's actually going to draw in her match, since I don't want to make too many more matches. Instead, I have to add another character. I forgot about that. I didn't think of the bracket. But yeah. Menma is going to go up against Naruto. And Gaara against Sasuke. Gaara against Sasuke. Sasuke's going to obliterate Gaara. Well, actually, no. That fight has to happen last. So all the other fights can happen before. Then it's going to be Naruto and this guy. Neji is going to fight, Actually, I'll bring back Mito. Neji's going to fight Mito. Gonna try and kill her. Gonna get stopped. And yeah. So yeah. So yeah, she gets stomped by Neji. And yeah. So now it's Sasuke versus Gaara. Sasuke's just gonna blitz behind Gaara and put a kunai to his throat and tells him to surrender. Gaara's Saiyan begins to attack him, but Sasuke just dodges it and begins to activate his Sharingan. Gaara takes... Well, no, actually I need to do the Naruto fight. I don't know why my brain is not functioning. It's not even that late. But yeah, Sasuke is, Naruto versus Menma. Naruto versus Menma. Menma's gonna tell him that he's been working during this 1 month training period, and that he's at Naruto's level. Actually, stronger than that. Naruto begins to laugh and asks him, are you, bluffing at all? And everyone in the crowd goes silent, since no one knows that Naruto is stronger than Mema. Mema is supposed to be a generational genius, which he is in his own right, but Naruto is more of a generational genius. Mema begins to pull out his Rasengan, and says when he does this, he can be on his level. Naruto activates his his Sharingan, and then pulls out a Rasengan of his own. And he says, done. Mema is mind-boggled and sees his Sharingan eyes. He remembers his dad telling him that they were part of the Uchiha clan, but he never got the Sharingan. And yeah, that was why it skipped a generation. Mema is shocked by this and realizes, but then he's like, ooh, this could be good, because I could get the Sharingan, and then I could easily pound him into the ground. But he is very wrong. He's not getting the Sharingan. Yeah. I don't want Mema to have the Sharingan. I want to just be Naruto and Sasuke, because I feel like the thing for an Uchiha to be classified as an Uchiha for me is you have to have the Sharingan. So Mema, Mito are not going to have the Sharingan. So they'll be Uzumaki's, but Naruto is an Uchiha. So Naruto then begins to blitz at, what's his name? Mema, at full speed. Speeds that not even Mema can perceive. Sasuke can perceive it pretty well with his 3 Tomoe. He can perceive it actually, as clear as day, and it says aloud, how can this dumbass not see this? It's pretty easy. And then Naruto pulls out Mema's own favorite technique, the Rasengan, and smashes it into his stomach and sends him flying through the concrete wall that Sasuke ran up, and sends him flying through that and out into the village, where he ends up resting a few hundred feet out from the stadium. And then Naruto begins to just start staring there, and was like, oh, I didn't know this jutsu is that strong. And then teleports back up to Sasuke. And then he's gonna slap Sasuke on the back of the head, and then flip him up over the railing, saying that it's his turn to fight now. And Sasuke's gonna be pretty pissed at this, but knows that Naruto's just joking around. So then he'll jump down onto the stage. Naruto versus Mema was supposed to be the main fight of the Chunin exams, but that fight was pretty boring. So now it's Gaara versus Sasuke, which is gonna be the main fight that everyone wants to see. To start off the fight, Sasuke's gonna blitz behind Gaara, and he's gonna just ask him a question. Which way would you like to die? And Gaara's gonna look there confused, and everyone's gonna be confused, since Sasuke's not taking this seriously whatsoever. And Gaara begins to say, are you asking yourself that? And Sasuke says no, that he was asking Gaara which way he wanted to die. And Gaara began to slowly turn over to Sasuke, and then unleashed a sand attack, which Sasuke dodged. Sasuke said, oh well, I'll just do it my way, I guess. And then Sasuke came in and stabbed Gaara just above the heart, and then pulled out a sword, and then came away, backed up, wanting to see what happened. And this is when Gaara goes berserk, seeing his own blood, and the sand invasion is gonna begin. Orochimaru is then gonna make his move on Minto, and they're gonna find the roof. Minto's absolutely gonna slap Orochimaru, since if old Hiruzen could keep up with him, Minato can. Since I feel like Minato is stronger than old Hiruzen. Just because. So yeah, Minato is gonna. So everyone's gonna go off to their fights as usual, but Naruto is gonna tell Sasuke to. Naruto and Sasuke are gonna jump out, and Naruto's immediately gonna get to work, and he's gonna make 10,000 shadow clones to go run off to every part of the village to go deal with it. Naruto is then gonna point over to someone, and it's gonna be a store. And there's Sasuke's gonna see a cloak. Naruto's gonna say Itachi. And Itachi's actually going to be at the exam since he felt something bad was going to happen. And Sasuke's going to say, how do you know? Naruto says, I had a clone check it out. It's Itachi. And Sasuke's going to immediately jump down there to go deal with Itachi since he still thinks he can take him. Naruto then grabs him before he can and tells him to just talk it out with Itachi first, since neither one of them or both of them combined can compete with Itachi's strength. And that it would be suicide to try and do it. And Sasuke says okay. But he doesn't really want to agree with it, but he knows Naruto is correct. Like, they can't take Itachi currently at their current state of power. Naruto then goes off to fight Gaara, who he slaps. But when Gaara transforms, Naruto just blitzes up there and punches him across the face. And then to break the thing is just gonna bitch slap him and send him flying down into the ground. And then he'd have a talk with Gaara. He'd sit down next to Gaara, and he would begin to explain his childhood and how bad his life was. Gaara, seeing the similarities between him and Naruto, began to ask Naruto why he doesn't kill people. Like, what is he trying to say? Naruto began to say that he doesn't need to kill people to prove his existence to people. He doesn't really even need to prove his existence. That the attraction of people is something that you don't need in life to survive. That all you need is yourself, and that's it. But the attraction of people is what is best. And Gaara would begin to, realize that he shouldn't be as mean to people and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of a weird way for Naruto to put it, but like how he never needed it, like the affection, love from people, but once he got it, he felt like he needed it from that point on. So if Gaara would give it a chance, he would realize how nice it felt to feel that way. That's how Naruto would put it. And Gaara would start nodding his head. And that would be when Temari and Conqueror would come and grab him and immediately get away. Gaara would begin to turn his head back in Naruto and would start to smile. Oh, actually, before they go, Naruto fixes Gaara's seal, since he was working on that during the 1-month training period. Because I want Gaara, and Gaara's soon gonna fall asleep, which freaks out Temari and Conqueror, but then Naruto appears beside them and says it's fine that he fixed Gaara's seal, so Shikaku can't come out anymore. Unless he breaks the seal. And they both thank him very much, since Shikaku was pretty scary. But yeah. Naruto? Yeah. That ends the fight with Gaara. It's gonna end much quicker. So the fight with Minato and Orochimaru is still gonna go on. Orochimaru is gonna end up killing Minato. And now we're gonna go... Orochimaru won't kill Minato. Minato will kill Orochimaru. So yeah. Now we go over to, what's his name? Sasuke and Itachi's meeting. Sasuke would tell Kisame to go, wait outside the village for him when he hears Sasuke approaching. That he has some business to take care of inside the village. And when Sasuke approaches him, Itachi's not even gonna act like he cares. And Sasuke would begin to ask Itachi why he killed the clan and such. And Itachi would say that it was for the reason that he said. And Itachi would begin to state that him and Naruto aren't idiots, and he shouldn't continue to take them for idiots. Just tell them the truth, that since they know he's lying. And Sasuke would act like, dang, I wish Naruto was here, since he may be able to put Itachi under a genjutsu for the slightest of moments. But yeah, Naruto would, after defeating Gaara, he would head back to the village. And he would hope that his clones would have really helped propel the attack, and there wouldn't have been as many Leaf casualties, which would have been nice. Because, it'd be nice. So yeah, Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto would then come to meet up with Sasuke, and Itachi would say, I have to go. I have more important stuff to do. Before Naruto can get there, and Sasuke says, are you avoiding Naruto on purpose? And Itachi begins to state that he's not. It's just that Naruto, he doesn't really care what happens to Naruto. And Sasuke says, I know that you're lying, since the reason he killed the clan was so that way if they tried to kill the clan, him and Naruto wouldn't be in danger from it. And Itachi's eyes would widen, but Sasuke couldn't see it. And Itachi would say that Sasuke's wrong, that the village doesn't even want him in the village. That the village hates him for being a traitor, and he doesn't care. And then body flickers away. Sasuke's gonna go after him, but then Naruto arrives and grabs him and tells him that they should just wait another day to deal with this and get stronger. But yeah. After the attack comes on, Naruto and Sasuke are requested in the 4th Hokage's office. And this is when both of them are gonna get a ton of hatred towards the village. The 4th Hokage is gonna state that even though their actions during the Chunin exams were valiant, and that Sasuke is gonna state that they knew that Itachi was in the village and withheld this information from the village when Itachi could have been killed. Naruto immediately got up and began to state that they wanted to talk to him alone, since they knew Itachi and they wanted to know the truth. And this is when Naruto also begins to state that the village was probably the ones that told Itachi to kill the village. Since Itachi, the only ones that could convince Itachi to kill his own clan was the village. If the village said it was for the village, Itachi would have done it. And everyone, including Danzo, their jaw, drops to the ground. Not literally, but, you get what it means. And Naruto begins to state that from their eye expressions, it seems like they do. They did. And then he stares into Danzo's soul. And he says that you're the one that tried to kill Shisui. And Danzo looks even more surprised. And Naruto begins to say, you dumbass bastard and stuff like that. A bunch of shit to Danzo. And Danzo's Anbu begin to move in to attack Naruto. But then Minato begins to ask Naruto, why are you getting so angry? And Naruto begins to say, because this stupid village is so corrupt that people don't even know the motherfucking truth. He's just gonna go on a tear of people. He's gonna roast everyone in that room, saying how, all of them purposely hated the Uchiha clan because, a masked man that we all thought was Madara, who was exiled, basically, by the Uchiha clan, attacked the village. And Danzo ordered them to be killed, even though there was no reason. And Danzo began to say that they could have rebelled. And Naruto began to say that they were not planning that. And if they were, the village would have known, since Itachi would have told them. And he told them that he knew that they twisted Itachi's arm into being a double agent for him. And Minto's kind of just sitting there, kind of stupid. Then Naruto turns to Minto. Minto's oh, fuck. Because if one of these Anbu, or someone peeks in and listens to this, his entire career is going to be over. And Naruto goes on a rant on how he is the worst Hokage ever, that he puts the name to shame, and that his 2 kids are weak as fuck. They are not generational genius. Oh, they mastered a few S-rank jutsus. S-rank jutsu my ass. I've created a few. I know plenty of ceiling jutsus. I have power that they're weaker than, he's just gonna go on a rant. I don't know, he's gonna compare them to Konohamaru in strength. And he's gonna say that they're absolutely nothing in strength. They're weak. I bet they couldn't even do 10 push-ups in a row. Did you even teach them the fundamentals of chakra control? They don't even know water walking or tree walking. And then you go on to say the bullshit that they're the children of prophecy. You're gonna trust that old pervert's ears and he just begins to roast everyone in the family. And I'm just gonna say that Kushina's there, and then he turns to Kushina. Now Sasuke's in here holding back like tears of laughter, and Naruto begins to stare to her, and he's like, "You tomato head bitch. You call those kids children, but they look more like an abomination. It looks like you should have had an abortion, but it failed miserably. Maybe because I wasn't affected, that's why I'm actually useful. But I guess you like the useless ones." And Sasuke starts bursting out in laughter. I don't know, just because everything Naruto says makes him laugh. And also Naruto is roasting everyone who has higher authority than him. Even though his roasts weren't the best, they still dug deep. And he said, "Oh, you put shame to your clan's name, saying that your clan loves all, even though you basically neglected me and kicked me out of the house for having black hair and having the Sharingan, which is literally a part of my genetic. It wasn't anything odd at all, since genes can skip a generation. But since you're an idiot, I wouldn't expect you to know that." And he's taking a shot at everyone in the room now, except the Anbu. And some of the Anbu are even, kind of giggling. Yamato slams his fist down and says that that's enough, and that Naruto and Sasuke, that he'll remove them being ninja. This is when the room gets serious, and Sasuke begins to stand up, and he says he wouldn't dare to do that, and says no balls. Naruto begins to state, "You shouldn't have said that. It's going to make him feel sad since he doesn't have any." And Minato is basically getting his whole, now manlyhood, roasted now by these two 12-year-olds. And, Naruto begins to say, no wonder those two are useless. They must have gotten the useless gene from him. And Sasuke starts laughing, and this is an utter shit show. He just wanted to talk about Itachi, but I guess he took it too far, and, Mito realizes he took it too far with these two, and he begins to say, "Hand over your headband." Naruto puts his headband down on the table, pulls out a kunai, and says, "Sasuke, I think you know what we're about to do." And they draw a line across it, saying that they were gonna do this either way, since the village is way too corrupt, and they don't like it, and that they don't care for it anymore. Now this changes the whole mood, as the Anbus begin to leap at him, seeing that they are a threat now. But Naruto gets a sword impaled in him, and everyone thinks that this is the end of it. Minato starts even smiling. And then Naruto's head begins to move upward. And he begins to say, "See, this just proves that you're a bastard." And then he explodes into a massive lightning blast that basically kills the Anbu that were near them and severely injures all the Kage. Sasuke was also a substitution, but he didn't use that jutsu, since Naruto wanted to get his words into it. Minato. Now Naruto and Sasuke are on the run. They quickly get out of the Land of Fire area, and a team is immediately assembled. They're quickly trying to get out of that Land of Fire area. A team is quickly assembled to get them back. Minato says not to kill them, that he wants to have a talk with them. The team is going to consist of the original Sasuke retrieval team with Mema and Mito, and also Sakura, since she thinks that Naruto kidnapped Sasuke, which makes the situation much more dire to her. Orochimaru, hearing about this, heads off to find them, and Itachi, hearing about this, goes to investigate. When Itachi finds out that the village tried to kill both of them, and that's going to actually end up being the goal of the whole meeting, was to kill Naruto and Sasuke, so that way the Uchiha clan could be gone, since they just saw them as problems, Itachi is going to be furious, and he's going to bust down the fourth Hokage's door. And in the bright of day, when there are other people around, he said, "When you told me to kill my clan, you said that you would protect those two, and wouldn't ever try and backstab them. You would keep them in the village where they'd be safe. And now you just tried to hold a meeting to kill them." And Minato is like, "Oh, motherfucker." Since Itachi just exposed that lie and proved it, in front of Kakashi. Which Kakashi now is like, oh, I justify them, and denies going on the mission, saying that he doesn't feel like that mission is right. That their people that have mistreated them should go after them to retrieve them to show that they actually care. And yeah, Itachi would then bust in the crows, but not before saying that that he would get his revenge on Minato. And Minato kind of gulps, and he would say that the Akatsuki is coming after his kids, and not even Naruto. He says that, and then he also states that at the strength they're at, they stand no chance against the Akatsuki. And, then he bursts into a bunch of crows. Itachi says to Kisame that they're heading to the Land of Fire, and since Kisame wanted to kill, he asked, why is it one of your little spying missions? Itachi said no, they're gonna go kill a few brats. And Kisame starts smiling, and he follows Itachi to the Land of Fire. And Kisame says why. And Itachi begins to state that they broke an old promise. That they just tried to kill his younger brother, so he's gonna go take out some revenge. Since if anyone's gonna kill his younger brother, he'd much rather it be him. Kisame kind of sees that this is a lie, saying that Itachi cares for his younger brother, but just shrugs it off since, he doesn't really care. But yeah. Then Pain's gonna call a meeting, and Itachi and Kisame are gonna state that they want to go to the Land of Fire, so if there's any missions there that could involve some killing of diplomats, that would be nice. And they're actually gonna have one from the Land of Stone. It's gonna be to do a thing, but like kill everyone at the Fire Temple, we'll say. But they're gonna be told to wait a bit, because they want to hold off on this for a few months, per se. But yeah, Naruto and Sasuke are gonna meet Menma and Mito at the Valley of the End. Since the rest of the group, Naruto and Sasuke will split them up and take them all out, but leave Menma and Mito to absolutely humiliate. Menma's gonna scream at Naruto, saying, "You traitor bastard, how could you betray your family like that?" Naruto and Sasuke would both look at each other, and then they would start bursting out laughing, saying that their true family are all dead because of your stupid little village, and that he didn't betray his family, he just stuck with it. Something that Menma would never understand. Menma begins to state that Naruto is really annoying person, and begins to just badmouth Naruto. Begins to state that maybe if Naruto spoke out more, maybe if Naruto didn't run away, people would have changed. And Menma begins to say that people can change and all that, trying to give an Ashura speech, but really Naruto can do that. And Naruto doesn't really want to get revenge on the Leaf. Well, he does, but not as severe as Sasuke. Sasuke wants to kill everyone. He wants to go in guns blazing. Like a Kame ga kill style, just kill everyone. But Naruto begins to say that he isn't betraying his family. He hasn't left his Ashura side. He's still a nice person and all that. It's just that he has a bit more hatred than the other Ashuras had, but still. And then Menma begins to say something that pisses off Naruto and Sasuke. And Menma begins to say, maybe if you chose the right family, you would still have one. And when Naruto, at a moment's notice, blitzes Menma with the Rasengan, jumps above him, and blasts him down a mountain. Well, down the cliff. They're going to be standing on the edges of the cliffs, not the heads, and Naruto and Sasuke really didn't want to stand on Madara's head, since each of them dislike him a lot, since he betrayed the Uchiha clan. Stuff like that hurt the village, And they see all the previous Hokage as heroes, but hate this Hokage. So all they want to do is lead a revolution to kill this Hokage, then replace him with ones that's not as corrupt. That's all Naruto wants to do. And Sasuke thinks that that's the same, like a revolution, kill the Hokage, replace him with one that actually treats the people correctly and tells them the truth and stuff like that. But, yeah. Naruto and Sasuke would begin to, Naruto would beat Mema with one hit, and then he would turn over to Mito. Mito is scared right now. Neither of them have a lot of battle experience, unlike Naruto. Then Naruto's gonna swing his Rasengan over, smacking her across the face, sending her flying through the ground. And she's gonna be out. So then Naruto's gonna land on the edge and is gonna jump over to Sasuke. Then they just keep walking. And in the shadow, there's gonna be a figure. It's gonna be Orochimaru. You can't think now's the perfect time to attack Naruto and Sasuke. But he does know if he attacks them, Itachi will now come after him, which he does not want to deal with Itachi. And he also doesn't know yet that Naruto, has Tsukiyomi, which he'll probably fall victim to. So yeah, Naruto and Sasuke can actually hold their own against the Sannin, but it's really all because of Naruto's Tsukiyomi. But yeah, now we're going to do the 3-year time skip. Naruto and Sasuke are going to train so hard that they're going to be on, like they're going to train stupidly hard for this revolution. This is going to be the time that Itachi attacks the Fire Temple. And yeah, this is going to go a lot differently. They're going to slaughter everyone there, leaving that one guy alive to tell the tale, bring the guy in, collect the bounty, and team's going to be dispatched. Naruto and Sasuke are also going to get wind of this and are going to head over. Naruto and Sasuke are on, like, Pain. Like, they could take on... who could they take on? They could take on, like... Well, they're like... How strong should they be? They're like 6th gate guy. No, 7th gate guy. They're 7th gate guy in strength, which is really strong. But that's on how hard they train, because on how devoted they are to it. When you, like in Uchiha, they like trained hard. They both utilize the shadow clone technique, making 10,000 clones a day to train, spar against each other, fighting against people, running into Konoha Shinobi, and basically kind of just exploring the world while training way too hard. Like, some days they'd sleep, like they would sleep through the night, but their clones would keep on training through the through the night. So that's like how they were training, which was smart. And then so the things that they're gonna learn, Naruto is gonna get Tsukiyomi up to Itachi's level. Sasuke is going to master Madarasu. Each of them can use a perfect Susanoo. Naruto is going to I'd say that they stole Scroll with the Flame Rising, and each of them are gonna get it, even though Naruto is gonna like it more than Sasuke does. They're each gonna get Majestic Destroyer. Each of them can use the Chidori. Sasuke can now use it 6 times a day. Naruto can use it like 7. Yeah, with other chakra, well, Naruto can use it like 8 times, since I think that's pretty good. Naruto just developed the Rasen Shuriken. I need to give them a summoning. I'd say that they ended up getting an affiliation with the Crows as well, like just like Itachi did, since they kind of are like Itachi in the timeline. So I think that I'll give them both that, since I think that's a pretty good one. And so yeah, that's gonna be basically how strong they are. And a lot of their strength isn't from like their jutsus at all. It's from just the raw strength that they have. Actually, I'm gonna put them at 6.5 gate guy. Like, imagine if Guy was at 6 and then halfway to 7. So, yeah. So, 6 gate Guy. That's their strength right now. But they still haven't started really training. Like, they're gonna get up to Madara's level at some point. Which will be nice. So yeah. When they hear Itachi raid the Fire Temple, they'll immediately head out. And, yeah. Naruto's hairstyle is gonna kinda be like Indra's hairstyle from, Indra, Sasuke's reincarnate. Just because Sasuke's will be the same as the original. And yeah, they're gonna go over to the location, to where Itachi was spotted, and they'll see that there's a slaughter, and they'll actually beat the Konoha Shinobi there. And when, what's their name's gonna be? Menma, Mito. The teams are gonna be Menma. Teams are gonna be sent out to investigate are gonna be Menma, Mito, Sakura, Kakashi, with Yamato, just because, and then Team 10. So yeah, that's gonna be the teams. Mito's gonna gravely underestimate the strength of the Akatsuki, just because he thinks the Menma, Mito, and friends are extremely strong. Oh, I forgot to cover Tsunade. Tsunade does come back to the village and trains Mito and Sakura, and she sees that they're two of the weakest, and they need to have the most training. Oh, I forgot one thing. During the retrieval mission, Sasuke ends up beating, like, the living shit out of Sakura. And, she gets depressed from it. But she ends up recovering and stuff like that. She thinks it was Naruto in a disguise. But yeah, Naruto and Sasuke the team that was sent out to investigate will spot Naruto and Sasuke. And, they're gonna be, Menma's gonna blitz Naruto. No, Menma's gonna start storing up chakra, nature chakra. And Naruto's gonna look over at them, and he's gonna say it's pointless. And then they're gonna both body flicker away. They're both gonna be looking at the scene, and they're gonna show up. And Kakashi's kinda shocked to see, like, the way Naruto and Sasuke look. They look like they have years of experience, but they're both only 15. So yeah, he's kind of shocked by this. They look like they have more experience than him, and he asks how they look like they have so much battle experience. Because just gonna say Kakashi can tell. And they said that they found a little trick which made them be able to train for like 30 years in only 3 years. So it was pretty OP. And yeah, Kakashi's kind of shocked by this, but yeah. He ends up realizing it was the shadow clone technique. And, yeah. Naruto began to say chasing them down with a squad like that would be suicide. And Kakashi probably knows that. And he then looks over at Team 10 and says, yeah, that Kakashi and Asuma, that since Kisame is a Kage level fighter, Kisame is easily a Kage level fighter, as well as Itachi, since if you get trapped in Tsukiyomi, you could basically die from it, since Naruto has experienced one and uses them all the time, and he's seen people die from them. And says it, and points at the tuning now, and begins to state that they should have brought more Joning, or Mito should just dealt with them himself. And then Naruto and Sasuke both body flicker away. Oh, Sasuke would also begin to state that Itachi was theirs, and if they put their hands on him, he would kill all of them. On Itachi. Even though he doesn't think they could. Itachi also would have been training during this time, trying to get stronger, and he would be my guy 7th, gate 7th, since he was really training, trying to get stronger, which means he's at around Kisame's max strength. Itachi was at that strength level, but yeah, so Itachi's still going to be at that strength. And Itachi's not gonna have the disease to worry about, so this dude is OP. Like, Itachi was always strong, it's just his disease was, like, really bad. So, yeah, Naruto and Sasuke are looking for Itachi and wherever he could be. But Itachi and Kisame are walking over to the bounty hunter place to basically put down the guy that they killed and received the bounty. Once they reach the place, they go inside. Naruto and Sasuke track them, with the team closely behind them, saying, just Kakashi's hounds. And the hound begins to talk about how Naruto and Sasuke each have different goals, and that Naruto, and they begin to ask if Naruto has summoned them at all, or Sasuke. He begins to say yeah, and they're kind of confused since they didn't know that Kakashi gave them the summoning. And he begins to say how Naruto and Sasuke each really liked the village at first. They thought it was a nice place, and they admired the Hokage until they began to actually research stuff about Itachi. And it was Naruto that originally did it, since he didn't believe that Itachi would do such a thing just to test his power. He would think that Itachi would maybe challenge the Hokage, not kill a clan that was defenseless. Surprise attack a clan before any of them could react, and then leave 2 survivors. So yeah, saying that Naruto found out that the village ordered it. Well, it was a theory at first, but the more they thought about it, the more logical it was. As Naruto did see a tear falling from Itachi's face, and yeah. In the meeting room, he was all just guessing then. Kakashi kind of begins to grin, and he begins to say, well, it was going to catch up to them someday. It still hasn't been leaked to the public, though, Kakashi's going to say, which is the worst thing since they should know. And Mama is going to say, but that ruined my dad's career, and Kakashi would then say, in your sensei's career, as the Hokage, Kakashi would then say that anyone who does something like that, orders someone to throw their life away, and then breaks their promise to him, should be killed, should have their life thrown away in return. And Mama begins to ask, what do you mean tries to kill them, breaks the promise? Kakashi begins to explain how Mito promised Itachi that he would take care of Naruto and Sasuke. And that when that meeting happened with Naruto and Sasuke, when Naruto and Sasuke left the village, each of them, the meeting intention was to kill them. And Mama's kind of shocked by this, but he's like, oh well, it serves the demon right. And then the Hound guy looks back at him, and he says, you're the one that holds the 9 tails. He doesn't hold it anymore. And Momo begins to look around, shocked at this, and then he begins to smile. But then, that dog also says, I forget his name, that isn't the greatest since he's gonna be hunted down by the Akatsuki. And since they're hunting them, it's not really smart for him to come on the mission, since he is a tuning level fighter, and it'll just drag down the force. That all Jonin should have been sent. Like a team of Kakashi, Asuma, a few squads of Anbu, Kurenai guy, just a bunch of Jonin to deal with the matter. Since, yeah. I'm gonna end it here with Naruto and Sasuke. Itachi's gonna walk outside with Kisame to see Naruto and Sasuke sitting on a bench. Gonna be directly across, and the team's arriving. It's gonna be a 3-way standoff, and that's where I'm gonna end part 2 of what if Naruto was an Uchiha. If you guys enjoyed this what if, can you guys please subscribe? I really appreciate it. And let me know if you don't like anything about the what if, and if there's anything that I should change in the future. So yeah, thank you guys, and peace.